Good morning, everyone. I'm Panesar, and my talk today is on Order from Chaos, Digital Marketing Clarified. So I set up in business about 15 years ago, and today's theme is life chances, but I'm going to specifically be talking about life chances in business. Now, there's all kinds of opportunities that present themselves in life in general, but in business, when you set up, there's all kinds of things you could be doing. It's, should I be doing this thing? Should I have a website? Should I go on social media? And when, the saying goes, when one door closes, another one opens, and you just don't know what direction to go in. And I found that in the last 15 years, there's been all kinds of challenges and all kinds of issues that I've experienced. But it took a while for me to actually understand, when we're thinking about life chances, what is my why? What is my purpose? Why do I do what I do? Yes, of course, we're in business. We have to earn money. That's a given. But there has to be a purpose behind what you're doing. My purpose is to make my mark on the world. I firmly believe I work with businesses. I help them achieve return on investment. I help them make profit. And off the back of that, if they can employ people, they can then, these people that they're employing can then afford to pay their mortgages and their rent and feed their kids and all those kind of things. They're creating life chances by doing that, and I'm able to support that. That is my purpose. Now, when I'm working with businesses, the most common kind of questions that I hear, things I hear people say, is there's so many marketing methods, we don't know which one's right for us. We don't know what's working and what isn't. We're doing social media, we're doing this, we just don't know what's working. We just want results. We want results from our marketing. So hold that thought for a second. Let's take a second to look at this picture. This is the solar system. So the universe, now I'm no scientist, billions of years ago, the Big Bang Theory, the universe appeared out of nowhere. That's as far as my scientific knowledge goes. But one thing that I know about that is there was all this chaos, there was all this madness going on, and then this one thing happened and the solar system was created. This calculated thing where the sun is in one place, and then we've got Mars and Earth and all these other planets, and the Earth rotates the sun every 365 days, and the Earth rotates every 24 hours. It's a very calculated thing. We know what happens, and off the back of that, we can predict things that are going to happen off the back of it. We know when the next lunar eclipse is. We know when the next time Halley's Comet is going to be flying past. But there's all kinds of unpredictable things in the universe that we just don't know. If you look at the picture, you can just see into the abyss. There's all kinds of madness a million light years away that we just don't know about. But let's focus on the things that we do know about. Today's talk is about demystifying digital marketing. And the way that I propose to do that is through a model, a methodology that I've created over the years. I call this model Solar 7. 7 stages to achieve return on investment in your organization, whether you're just starting out in business or whether you have been going for a while. And it's a methodology that works, and it's a framework that just helps people clarify and understand and move away from all this chaos and madness of all this digital stuff going on and algorithms changing, and then this new social platform. Should I be on TikTok? Should I be on LinkedIn? Should I be doing silly dances? All that kind of stuff. This is a framework that helps you understand that. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about it. So let's talk about discovery. The first stage for discovery is understanding where you've been as an organization, where you are now, where you want to go, who your competition are, and who your audience are. Now, these are really fundamental things. You need to sit down and just really figure out what all these things are and write them down. Where you want to go is your objectives. Make sure you're outlining where you want to go in 6 months, where you want to go in 12 months, where you want to go in 24 months, and so on. And your audience are really important, really, really, really important. You need to know who it is that you're selling to. Now, the most common hurdles, the things that you want to be watching out for, not being honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. You can't say, right, well, I'm a web designer, so I'm the best web designer in the world. No, you have to be honest with yourself and understand where you actually sit in relation to the competition. Not thinking objectives through thoroughly enough. If you say, right, this time next year we'll be millionaires, we're going to quadruple our turnover and make loads of profit. If you don't have the resource for it, it's not going to happen. You have to be realistic, and we see a lot of people not being really realistic. And thinking your service or product is for everyone. You can't be all things to everyone. You have to, yes, if you're a plumber, you can fix, you can do plumbing anywhere, but are you aiming for residential or are you aiming for commercial? And if it's commercial, are you aiming for a specific sector? You need to know who your message is defined for. So that's the discovery stage. The next stage, stage 2, is defining your strategy. The strategy captures all activity that needs to take place in order to achieve the goals that you've set at the discovery stage. The kind of things that you want to be looking at in a strategy is your customer research. You want to be having a look at your competitors, what kind of things like what kind of marketing they're doing. What is their social media like? Where do they rank on Google? And what you want to do is you want to see where your competitors are, see where you are, see where the gaps are in between, and then from there put a plan together of how you're going to fill those gaps. Think of it like a graphic equalizer. You've got your bass and your treble and your mid and everything else in between. You just need to tweak things accordingly in order to be able to understand, the direction you need to go in to get to achieve those goals that you've highlighted. The hurdles to watch out for: creating a strategy that has no action points or too many action points. There's no point in a plan if it doesn't actually say what you're going to do. Do loads of research, great, but you need to have action points from it. Not frequently reviewing the strategy. The amount of times I see people create this beautiful strategy, put it on a shelf and it just collects dust. It doesn't mean anything. You need to keep tabs on it. And not making it manageable. That links in with the first point. You need to think of it as maybe 3 core priorities in 3 months, 3 and 3. So if you've got objectives that you want to achieve at the 12-month mark, just break it down into 3-month periods and just review it on a rolling monthly basis, what you're going to do in the next 3 months. So that's stage 2. Stage 3 is at the heart of the model. It's your brand and your content, your message. It's so fundamental to what you do. Your brand is so much more than just a logo. It's your message, it's your voice, it's how you make people feel, it's the perception that that you create in their minds. The most common hurdles you need to watch out for on this is believing that your brand is just a logo. It isn't. It's everything I've just said. It's how it makes people feel. It's what people believe you. It's that intrinsic value inside people. Not targeting brand around your audience. We talked about audience for stage 1 at the discovery stage. You really need to be making sure you're targeting the brand and the messaging to speak directly to. If you've got an audience of 60-plus-year-old females, the kind of messaging that you're going to put together is going to be different for 18-year-old males. So you've got to think about your audience. And then not placing enough emphasis on the brand stage. The reason the brand stage is at the heart of the model is because it's really, really, really important. The next stage is your website, and that's a bit like the sun in this solar marketing system. Your website is a platform to execute your call to action. So do you want people to go in and purchase? Is it an e-commerce site? Do you want them to pick up the phone? Do you want them to fill in a form? It's a very fundamental part of your whole marketing setup. So the hurdles to watch out for: when a website doesn't become a tool to generate inquiries or deliver a call to action. The number of times we come across businesses where they say, our website's just there, it's not doing it. It's a fundamental part in the digital world. Think of the digital world and the real world as completely two completely different universes. You could be amazing in the real world and terrible in the digital world, and vice versa. You need to be good in both to succeed in business these days. Another hurdle: when too much information is given, less is more. No one wants to be pounded by a wall of text on a website. And thinking everyone has your user habits. Just because you think on your website, oh, I'd go there and click on that and do that, just because you do that, it doesn't mean everybody else will. Stage 5 are what we call the planets. The planets that surround the sun, the website. These are the ways that you get traffic to your website. So whether it's search marketing, whether it's social media, email, advertising, or PR, all of these drive traffic to the website, which is what causes people to get in touch with you. The orange ring around each one of these planets is content. So content is key to the model, it's right at the heart, but it's also fundamental to all these other elements. For example, you could be posting on social media all day, every day, but if you're not saying anything that resonates with your target audience that you've talked about at stage 1, it means absolutely nothing. Content is king. Bill Gates, that was one thing that he quoted once, and he was absolutely right. Content, it's all about the message that you're getting across. It doesn't matter how sexy your website is or how beautiful the pictures are on your social media. It's all about the message that the thing that you're saying to people. Hurdles to watch out for: setting expectations too high. I want to be at the top of Google by this time in 6 months' time. The reality is that isn't going to happen if you're competing in a really aggressive market. If you're in car insurance or recruitment, everybody wants to be on the first page of Google, but there's only 10 spots for that kind of thing. focusing too heavily on vanity figures, impressions, reach, followers that are not your target audience. You know, all right, it's great to get loads of likes and loads of followers on Facebook or LinkedIn, but it's all about building the brand and getting the inquiry. And thinking that being at the top of Google is enough. Yes, you might rank on the top of Google, but if people are coming to a terrible website that doesn't have a defined message for your audience and the brand isn't right, they're going to drop off and disappear and go elsewhere. It's so easy just to click on the back button these days and go somewhere else. And not using enough channels to complement each other. You need to be doing more than just social media. You need to be doing more than just PR. You need to be doing more than just one thing. You need to be present in a number of places to build that trust. So stage 6 is, once you're undertaking all this activity, it's reviewing and measuring the activity that is working for you. So you need to know, okay, right, we're getting website analytics. We need to know how many visitors you're getting. You need to know where they're coming from. You need to know if the social media you're doing is working. You need to measure how well your PR is or your search engine optimization. You need to be measuring, there's a chap called Philip Kotler. He once said, if you can measure it, you can manage it. Amazing guy, and he was absolutely right. If you don't measure it, you can't manage it. It's pretty simple, really. The things to watch out for at stage 6 are not measuring the right key performance indicators. If you're measuring the wrong stuff, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, profit is an important key performance indicator, but before that, obviously comes, you need to think about how many inquiries you're getting, how well you're converting, and all of these kind of things are the things that you need to measure. Inconsistent measurement. You might look at it today, if you look at it in a week's time, and then only look at it again in 4 months' time, and then look at it in another month after that. You need to be looking at it regularly, however frequently that is. And of course, not measuring at all. The number of times I hear people saying, oh, our marketing's working, but we don't know which channel is. They could be throwing all kinds of money away in all kinds of different directions. And then finally, stage 7 is return on investment. And if you follow this methodology in a step-by-step process, that is ultimately what's going to get you to return on investment. And that's ultimately what this model is all about. By being able to create return on investment, you're able to help your business grow, employ people, and create life chances. So that, folks, is a methodology that we've created, and I encourage people to follow it. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's all stuff that's already there, but it's taking the chaos out of digital marketing, all these things where people are saying, oh, no, you want to do this, and the algorithms change, so you want to do that. A lot of people in our industry prey on fear and people's lack of knowledge. And I think as a business owner, it's your responsibility to understand the framework of how to move forward in order to be able to, well, make the best of the resources that you have available, which are obviously quite scarce. So, to wrap up, folks, today's talk, like I say, is about life chances in business, and hopefully it's created some kind of structure for us to get over this kind of technology overwhelm that we've got these days, where all these things are going on. And what I'm hoping that this as a model is able to do is to actually help business owners, for you to make your mark on the world by helping you be more structured, grow your business, employ more people, and create life chances for other people. Thank you.